Ukrainian forces have dealt a significant double blow to Russia's war effort this week, utilizing newly supplied mid-range capabilities to target critical infrastructure deep behind enemy lines. Strikes reportedly hit a major fuel depot in occupied Luhansk and a command and control center near Mariupol, both vital for sustaining Russian operations on the Eastern Front. Military analysts suggest these precision attacks, likely involving ATACMS missiles, have disrupted logistics chains, hampering the delivery of ammunition and reinforcements to frontline units. This strategic targeting aims to degrade Russia's ability to wage offensive operations and follows repeated calls from Kiev for more advanced Western weaponry. The successful strikes demonstrate Ukraine's evolving capacity to project power beyond the immediate front lines, significantly complicating Russia's military planning and supply efforts. A grim new report from Statista, compiling data from various sources including the UN Human Rights Monitoring Mission in Ukraine, reveals the devastating human toll of the ongoing conflict between 2022 and early 2026. The analysis indicates that over 30,000 Ukrainian civilians have been killed and more than 55,000 injured since Russia's full-scale invasion began in February 2022. The vast majority of these casualties, approximately 85%, resulted from the use of explosive weapons with wide area effects, such as shelling, missile strikes, and aerial bombardments in densely populated areas. This tragic data underscores the indiscriminate nature of modern warfare and the severe violations of international humanitarian law. The continued loss of civilian lives highlights the urgent need for a cessation of hostilities and robust protection for non-combatants across Ukraine. The Russia-Ukraine conflict, now in its fifth year, continues to serve as a crucial real-world laboratory for geopolitical and military strategists worldwide, according to a recent analysis by Isetnews. Key lessons emerging include the critical importance of drone technology for reconnaissance and targeted strikes, the resilience of decentralized command structures, and the pervasive impact of information warfare on public opinion and troop morale. Western defense ministries are actively integrating these observations into their doctrines, re-evaluating everything from ammunition stockpiles to cyber defense protocols. The conflict has underscored the need for adaptable, technologically advanced forces and robust logistical support in a protracted, high-intensity conventional war. These insights are fundamentally reshaping future defense planning and alliance strategies across Europe and beyond. A detailed assessment in the Small Wars Journal highlights Russia's sophisticated use of network warfare tactics throughout the Ukraine conflict, extending far beyond traditional kinetic engagement. The analysis reveals how Moscow has integrated cyber attacks, disinformation campaigns, and economic coercion to undermine Ukrainian resilience and sow discord among Western allies. Specific examples include debilitating cyber attacks on Ukraine's energy grid in 2022 and ongoing large-scale social media manipulation targeting European public opinion regarding aid for Kiev. This multi-domain approach aims to degrade an adversary's will to fight and ability to function, even as conventional battles rage. Understanding these complex, interconnected strategies is crucial for developing effective counter-hybrid warfare defenses in the contemporary security landscape. The concept of hybrid warfare is rapidly evolving, posing increasingly complex threats to global security by 2026, according to a recent Defense IQ special report. This modern form of conflict combines conventional military force with irregular tactics, cyber attacks, disinformation, economic pressure, and political subversion, often blurring the lines between war and peace. Analysts note the growing integration of artificial intelligence and advanced digital tools, such as deepfakes, to amplify propaganda and sow societal division at unprecedented scales. The Ukraine conflict serves as a stark example of these blended tactics, demonstrating the need for comprehensive national security strategies that address threats across all domains. Adapting to this dynamic and multifaceted warfare requires continuous innovation in defense, intelligence, and diplomatic capabilities. As Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine enters its fifth year, a PBS special report reviews the staggering human and material costs of the conflict by the numbers. Over 4 years, an estimated 6.5 million Ukrainians have been internally displaced, while another 8 million have sought refuge across Europe, representing nearly a quarter of the pre-war population. Economic damage to Ukraine's infrastructure and industry is estimated to exceed $600 billion, with reconstruction efforts requiring hundreds of billions more. International military and financial aid to Kiev has surpassed $200 billion, highlighting the global commitment to Ukraine's defense. These figures underscore the immense scale of destruction and suffering, as well as the unprecedented international response to the largest conflict in Europe since World War II. The escalating tensions surrounding Iran are increasingly becoming intertwined with the Russia-Ukraine conflict, transforming it into a complex proxy battle, warns a recent analysis by the Council on Foreign Relations. Iran has become a crucial supplier of advanced weaponry, notably Shahd drones, to Russia for use against Ukrainian targets, strengthening their strategic partnership. In return, Moscow has reportedly provided Tehran with military technology and diplomatic backing on the international stage, further destabilizing the Middle East. This deepening alliance links two major geopolitical flashpoints, creating a dangerous feedback loop where actions in one region directly influence the other. The intertwining of these conflicts poses significant challenges for global security and complicates efforts to de-escalate either situation independently. The week of March 14 to 20, 2026, saw continued intense fighting across Ukraine's eastern front, with Russian forces maintaining pressure on key Ukrainian defensive lines, according to a Relief Web situation update. Heavy shelling and localized ground assaults were reported in the Donetsk region, particularly around Avdiivka and Chasiv Yar, where Ukrainian defenders held their positions despite significant challenges. Humanitarian agencies reported increased displacement in frontline communities, with over 3,000 new internal refugees registered in the past 7 days alone. Infrastructure damage from missile strikes persisted in Kharkiv and Zaporizhia, impacting electricity and water supplies for tens of thousands. The sustained combat highlights the ongoing humanitarian crisis and the unwavering resilience of Ukrainian civilians and military personnel. Russian forces have initiated a renewed offensive across several sectors of Ukraine's eastern front this week, deploying significant numbers of troops and armored vehicles in an attempt to break through Ukrainian defensive lines. This surge in combat comes as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky publicly voiced profound concerns over the potential impact of the escalating Iran conflict on international support for Kiev. President Zelensky specifically warned that a diversion of Western attention and resources to the Middle East could severely hamper Ukraine's ability to defend against the intensified Russian aggression. The new offensive and Zelensky's plea underscore the complex and interconnected nature of global security challenges, threatening to stretch Western capabilities thin and potentially alter the dynamics of the ongoing war. The BBC has confirmed, via a leaked internal message, that several Cameroonian military contractors have been killed while fighting for Russia in Ukraine. The confidential communication, reportedly from a Cameroonian military official, indicates that at least a dozen individuals from Cameroon perished in combat over the past 2 months. These individuals are believed to have been recruited by Russian private military companies with promises of lucrative contracts, often without full disclosure of the risks involved. This revelation highlights Russia's ongoing efforts to recruit foreign nationals to bolster its forces and raises serious questions about the ethical implications for countries whose citizens are engaged in such conflicts. The Cameroonian government has yet to issue an official statement regarding these confirmed deaths, facing increased scrutiny over its citizens' involvement. As the conflict in Ukraine continues, a new analysis from the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace explores whether a viable conflict-ending solution remains even possible. The report outlines the formidable obstacles to peace, including fundamental disagreements over territorial integrity, the future status of occupied regions, and the accountability for war crimes. Ukraine insists on a full withdrawal of Russian forces and restoration of its 1991 borders, while Russia continues to demand recognition of its annexed territories and a neutral status for Kiev. Diplomatic efforts have largely stalled, with neither side currently willing to compromise on core demands, making any negotiated settlement appear increasingly remote. The prolonged stalemate suggests that a definitive end to the fighting may not be achievable in the near future, prolonging instability. Ukraine is undergoing a remarkable transformation, evolving from a major recipient of international aid into an increasingly significant security provider within the European architecture, according to a recent Atlantic Council assessment. Despite ongoing conflict, Kiev has demonstrated exceptional innovation in indigenous drone technology and cyber defense, sharing valuable combat experience with NATO allies. Ukrainian forces are effectively defending Europe's eastern flank against Russian aggression, offering a critical bulwark and proving grounds for modern military tactics. This shift underscores Ukraine's growing strategic importance and its potential future role in strengthening collective security, moving beyond its past reliance on external assistance. Ukraine's resilience and military advancements are fundamentally reshaping the continent's defense landscape. Ukraine solemnly marked the 4th anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion on February 24, 2026, remembering its fallen heroes and civilians as the devastating conflict officially entered its 5th year. Across the nation, memorial services, moments of silence, and candlelight vigils were held, with President Volodymyr Zelensky attending a poignant ceremony in Kiev to honor the tens of thousands of lives lost. Families of soldiers and civilians gathered at national monuments, laying flowers and sharing stories of immense sacrifice and resilience. This annual day of remembrance underscores the profound human cost of the war and serves as a powerful testament to the Ukrainian people's enduring spirit and their unwavering determination to defend their sovereignty against ongoing aggression. A comprehensive BBC analysis delves into the complex motivations behind President Vladimir Putin's decision to invade Ukraine and explores potential pathways for the war's conclusion. Putin's actions are widely attributed to a desire to restore Russia's sphere of influence, counter perceived NATO expansion, and dismantle Ukraine's pro-Western trajectory, rooted in historical grievances and nationalistic ambitions. The war's potential endings range from a negotiated settlement, which currently appears distant due to fundamental disagreements over territory, to a protracted frozen conflict, or even an internal political shift within Russia. Understanding these underlying drivers and possible outcomes is crucial for international efforts to resolve the conflict and establish lasting peace in Eastern Europe. A burgeoning youth movement is threatening to significantly shake up India's political landscape ahead of upcoming national elections, as detailed by The Guardian. Galvanized by issues such as high youth unemployment, climate change inaction, and pervasive corruption, young activists are mobilizing across major cities and university campuses. Operating under an unofficial banner, inspired by the defiant phrase, "What if all cockroaches came together?" this movement leveraged social media to organize protests and voter registration drives, challenging the traditional dominance of established political parties. Their collective voice represents a powerful demographic shift, aiming to push for new policies and greater accountability from political leaders. This grassroots activism could fundamentally alter the dynamics of Indian politics, ushering in a new era of civic engagement and policy demands.